everyone, good morning. Z Lopez here, dually licensed psychotherapist, licensed cosmetologist, and entrepreneurial coach. So today, I actually debated inside myself whether or not I wanted to talk about this, but it's definitely something that I'm passionate about. So recently, I've been putting out stories about people asking me questions. And one question that I received is, Z, how do I become a therapist like you? And that's a really loaded question because everybody's different and everybody has a different path and journey. However, one thing that I find in common among my colleagues as psychotherapists is that the process is very rigorous. And I think that it's very important to speak to that and just share a little bit about my story because it's definitely one of those things, like a chapter that isn't read out loud. I definitely have to tell you that my journey includes many years of struggle that a lot of people don't hear about because normally what we tend to do is only share the good things or when we celebrate and things are just going very well. So today I'm going to share with you something actually that I've framed, and a lot of people would think, when they get to know me or when they see it in the office, they're like, why would you frame this? Because to me, it's a symbol of getting back up. So one of the most rigorous process that we have as psychotherapists in any state that you go to is our licensing exams. I literally have said jokingly that I'd rather go through any other type of pain than to go through this exam again. And I'm actually dually licensed, so I had to go through it twice. So I'm gonna share with you guys this paper. So this paper that I have right here in my hand is what we're given when we take the exam. And let's see, as you could see right here next to my fabulous picture is the word fail. So yeah, on July 31st of 2017, 2 years ago, I failed my first exam. And it wasn't because I didn't study enough. It wasn't because I wasn't intelligent. It wasn't because I wasn't capable or fully beneficial to my clients and patients. It was because straight up this exam is on another level. It's on something else because this does not qualify people as a good or bad therapist. This literally just goes over content. So much content that people have no idea. I hear frequently like, well, why do psychotherapists charge so much? Or why is it such a high cost? To be quite frank, it's actually one of the lowest costs that there is within the health field. And I'll get into that in a minute. So I'm going to share with you guys something that some people may or may not know. My colleagues do, but others don't. So this is definitely advocacy for me to rap to you real quick and learn a little bit about this field. So this is our Bible. This is the DSM-5. This is the newest diagnosis manual to help with diagnosing dysfunction and impairments with people. What does that all mean? That means what are we going to put on the paper to justify to the insurance or to the person of why they have medical necessity? Let me turn it to the side. Do you see how thick this is? This is ridiculous. Look at the tabs I had to put on this. And this was me as a student. Now if we look at the top, it's not any better, right? All right, so imagine having to go through this, right? It's ridiculous, and it's not like big print. It's little print, okay? Each one of these, we have to learn to pass this exam, okay? I am so excited because this week, this is what inspired me. This week I had one colleague reach out and tell me, Z, I actually passed my exam after failing it the first time. And I share with them in transparency like, yes, girl, I failed the first time twice with both my exams. And I repeat, not because I wasn't qualified, not because I wasn't intelligent, because this exam, it tests you in different ways. So on top of that, we are not required to learn about medications because we don't prescribe, we don't have the legal ability to, nor the knowledge. However, it is ethical and it is best practice to know if one of your clients is taking something, what it could be interacting with, and who you could refer them to, like a psychiatrist, right? Psychiatrist is an MD that specializes in mental health. The pill book. So this book is another Bible I have that I use very frequently. So I literally have gone through this and known it back to back to back. I can tell you the medications, what it interacts with, what you shouldn't take it with, and how it may be impairing mental health. So this is me being a ethical therapist, me learning what I need to, learning what benefits my clients, but also being on point. This all goes into the worth of a therapist, okay? So then I shall continue. So I showed you my exam that I failed, and then it gets better. So not only was I a licensed marriage and family therapist, but then I also did a dual track. I'm dually licensed as a licensed professional clinical counselor in the state of California. So I also failed this exam, and I failed it by 2 points. I literally failed it by 2 points in one section, and that was in assessment and diagnosis. I literally missed just one diagnosis in that big old purple book I just showed you. That's how rigorous these exams are. They test us, they hold us so accountable, it's ridiculous. We have laws that are stronger than lawyers. We have boundaries that are stronger than doctors. Did you know that if a therapist has a DUI or any type of infraction or misdemeanor, their license is on the line? We have lawyers and doctors that have misdemeanors and nothing really happens to them. It might or might not. I'm not here to speak on that. But what I'm sharing with you is that we're held so accountable because the field, it's so sacred. We are dealing with people's feelings and emotions. And it's important to know this when you're seeing a therapist, right? For your own advocacy, but also knowing what goes into it. That's not even going into the price tag, which I'll go in a minute. So these are the two things that I value most. These two, the ones where I failed. Now, let me show you the ones where I passed a year later for each. So I passed this one and I passed this one. So as you could see, the smile is the same, right? And I want to share why the smile is the same on the ones that I failed and the ones that I passed. Why? As you could see, all smiles, right? Maybe if you could see close enough or not. Because you fall 7 and you get up 8. I was taught since a little girl that when it doesn't work the first time, that just means that there's a different way to do it. So what I did is I was transparent and I made a video and I put it out to my colleagues and I said, you know what, today I failed. I really need help. I need you guys to throw anything you got at me that will help me. And I had so much love come my way. I had people tell me, Z, I tried this, I tried that. I tried everything from prayer to workshops to everything. And I'm sharing this with you guys in transparency to tell you that if you fail the first time your exam, to my colleagues, to my sister and brother clinicians, it's okay. It does not define you as a therapist, and you will get through that. It took me a total of 8 years to get through school, an entire year of working for free. I paid to work for free in my traineeship. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think, oh, well, you know, you just do what, quote unquote, what doctors do, a residency. Not exactly. Some doctors get paid for their residency, especially here in the United States. The student loans are no joke. That's another. So my journey includes this. I wrote it on one of the posts that I did, but I decided to do this as a live video so people can get to know a little more about the journey and what's included. So my undergrad, I did at CSUN, and I did a 5-year track. The reason I did a 5-year track is because I chose to do a minor. So I did psychology undergrad for 4 years, the traditional track, and I also did a minor in human sexuality because originally I wanted to be a counselor for gender reassignment. And I quickly learned that I actually really enjoyed individuals much more. Individuals in different aspects, family conflict, sibling conflict, partnership conflict. And that's what I've stayed with currently. And knowing yourself is so important. So thereafter of spending 5 years in undergrad, I chose personally not to take student loans. It was probably the hardest journey I've ever taken. That meant no turn up, that meant no shopping, that meant no extras. That meant just paying 100% of schooling, and it paid off. Student loans are the next thing to break. Just like the housing market, student loans are ridiculous. They're charging students way more than what their actual degree is worth. I've actually met students that have spent double what they're making their first year out of school. If you run the numbers and crunch them, it doesn't make sense. Jay-Z says, women and men lie, but numbers don't. Cop that one for a minute, and that's true. So moving on from the financial aspect, I decided to go to grad school, working as a hair and makeup artist for MAC, working for Floyd's Barbershop as a barber for 7 years. I love talking with people. I thoroughly enjoy it, just that human connection and conversation. And over time, I learned that I was actually their therapist when I was cutting their hair, fading them up. I was good at it, but I was even a better therapist. So I followed that path. I applied to 3 graduate schools, and I got denied 3 times. This is the chapter that people don't read out loud. I share this with people that I trust, but now I think I need to speak on it because I hit such a low depression when I was rejected from school that it hurt. I thought it wasn't for me, but I continued, I persisted. I applied a 4th time to Mount St. Mary's. And I have to tell you that I went to my school, I knew it was right. I knew it was gonna be it for me. And they had a program that specified specialty and providing counseling services to Latinos in Spanish. That was exactly what I wanted to do. It's literally like the universe had it for me. So I have to tell you that if right now you're on your journey to grad school, if you're looking to get into a program and you haven't been accepted, if right now you're a high school student and you've been rejected from colleges right now, left and right, I have mentees that I mentor at different high schools, and they're telling me, Z, I didn't get into my school of choice. I'll tell you this, the universe has something much better for you. Just wait for it. Hold tight. And that's exactly what I did. I went through my entire process of sadness, of grief, of thinking maybe this career isn't for me. And I'm so thankful every single day that I had the courage to get back up every single time that I was denied. And I graduated with great grades in my undergrad. I had no idea why. I took the GRE. I scored well. I had anything you can think of on a resume as a graduate student. I still wasn't accepted. And I didn't understand why until it happened for me at the Mount. So at the Mount, I joined a 3-year program. Once again, I had to make the decision whether or not I was going to take loans, and I decided once again not to take student loans. So the total cost of my education as of undergrad all the way through grad school, so 8 years of school, is a total of $95,000. $95,000, I'll repeat that. And I had to pay that cash due to my own choice, but there was no interest on it, and I got to role model for other women of color, minorities, that it is possible. You don't have to be in debt to have an education. I think for a lot of fields, such as law or the medical community, you might have to incur that, and it pays off. If that is what you love, it does. Other than that, don't do it. If you're doing it so everybody else around in your family can be proud of you or happy for you or brag and boast to their family, oh, we have a doctor in the family or a lawyer, don't do it. You won't be happy. Do what truly makes you happy. If the world was perfect and you didn't need money, that's what you would choose anyways. So moving on, I graduate from the Mount, and I have to tell you, being prepared is everything. When I left the Mount for my graduate degree, I decided to join a traineeship closer to me that I had to pay to work for free. Yep, you heard me. I had to pay to work for free. And everybody I talk to, all my colleagues, are like, are you nuts? Why are you going to pay to work for free if you speak Spanish and there's places where you can go and do it for free? Because I wanted a quality education. I went and I studied under Jose Luis for the Latino Family Program. Beyond helpful, beyond grateful to have learned and studied under him. This man is like the godfather of Latino family therapy in Los Angeles. He's amazing. He is now retired, but my sisters out there that also were in the program with me, you know exactly what I mean. He more than prepared us. He exposed me to something that I didn't even know was aware. This is why I love working with Latinos. I love speaking Spanish in session. I love asking, ¿Y cómo te fue? ¿Y qué me dices? Because I can relate. I grew up with those sayings when I was a little girl, and it was more of convivencia. It was more familiar. It helps somebody feel heard and seen in session. This is something that's rare. In the United States alone, right now, only 16% of mental health professionals are of color. That's ridiculous. I'll repeat that, only 16% in the United States. That means that we are way underserved. For anyone that has a year-round tan, that means that you have to go extra to go look for somebody that will understand your experience of diversity or the lack of. So I'm passionate about that. A year after doing my traineeship, I decided to work for county. I decided to work for a contracted mental health, Department of Mental Health agency. And it was the biggest blessing I ever received. I got to work with La Comunidad. I got to work with families, children, individuals, everything you can think of. And it's also really heavy work because there's so much trauma there that you don't even know where to start. There's like layers and layers and layers of it. Thank somebody if you know somebody that works in county, because that job is beyond heavy. We are way overworked and way underpaid. My colleague Ben Caldwell is definitely doing a movement of post the pay. I'm 100% behind him. Post the pay and raise the pay for mental health clinicians. We are way underpaid and way overworked. So here's where things get real. I am more than happy to drop it like it's hot, price-wise, with clients that qualify for a low-fee scale. In regards to full prices and why I don't take insurance, it's for good reasons. I personally come from the perspective that I don't think an insurance company should tell me how to treat a patient for how long and how and what modality. I feel that the client knows best. I think you know what is best for you, and I think you know what feels good. Literally, what the insurance companies are doing are trying to make a model that keeps people within it. I am very excited when a client tells me, Z, I don't feel like I need this anymore. Wonderful. I'm so glad you're getting better and you're feeling better. That's what it's about. The entire process is for you to no longer need me. Just like a coach, just like a therapist, just like a tutor. just like anything of that. So that's one reason that insurance companies are a little bit tough to work with. The second reason is because a lot of times providers will not even be in their network, and they make it difficult too. It's a rigorous process. So in regards to the pricing, if you think of any medical professional and they think of therapists and they put us in this category, they make us be licensed, they make us have malpractice insurance, they treat us as medical professionals. In the state of California, we also cannot register as an LLC. We have to register as a corporation because we cannot have limited liability. We are held fully accountable. Here's where it gets interesting. I don't think there's anybody out there that would negotiate or bargain or haggle with their dentist or doctor. Imagine you're walking into the emergency room and say, you know what, doc? I just broke my arm. I need x-rays and I need all this help. But you know what? How about we do x-rays for $200? How does that sound? That would never happen. Even with the dentist, I've never seen somebody haggle with the dentist. Do we walk in needing a root canal or a cavity helped with and say, you know what, doc, I don't know about this $500, $600 bill, and that's low, right? What do you say if we settle on $400? No, that doesn't happen. Yet it happens every single day with therapists. We are the stepchild in the medical community, and I think that is necessary for the advocacy in regards to the pay and the scale. It's something that our degree is not any less. Among the colleagues I have or peers that have a master's degree and higher, even a PsyD or a PhD, we are the lowest paid for a graduate degree. Anybody else that has a graduate degree, including lawyers, architects, engineers, any others, are paid more. It's the thing about this. It's something that people don't know of why the prices are what they are. Respect the mental health clinicians. Respect them. And respectfully, it's okay to open up that question. Say, hey, do you have a low fee scale available? Absolutely. And that's why there are limited spaces for those, for people who qualify, for people that really need it, people that are struggling just to make it happen. And just as advocacy, once again, the entire reason that I'm sharing this today is to learn a little bit more about our field, to learn about it, but also to share with you the chapter that's not read out loud too often. And that's when I failed both my exams. And it's funny because when I took the second one, I was already licensed as the other one. So it didn't make sense. How could I pass one and not the other? But that's how it goes. These licensing exams don't determine who you are. If you are going through any of this, please feel free to reach out, DM me. There's plenty of support for you guys. We all are open to helping each other. And for those clinicians that recently passed, congratulations. It is definitely a journey. And for those of you that have any other questions regarding graduate or school, let me know. I'm here to support you. If I have any Mount sisters that are watching, please reach out. I'm looking to start a collective in regards to alum from the Mount, especially since it's an almost all women's school. So thanks for listening today, guys, and I appreciate your time.